All right. Now, part of living a healthier lifestyle means we got to be thinking about how we're living, think about what we're eating, and think about how we're feeling, and think about the others in our life too. A lot of research has come out today about diabetes, and we're seeing a dramatic change. And what we're seeing is more and more people are either pre-diabetic or fully diabetic. And we're headed the wrong way, folks. 40% of Americans, at least, are pre-diabetic. And sadly, 80% of those people don't even know it. 10% of the US population is diabetic, diagnosed either type 2 or type 1. Now, those are two different types of diabetes, and they've got a different story. Type 1 diabetes is traditionally was kind of, we saw in pediatric cases. We saw that a certain age group, that's when it was more common. There was some genetic predisposition we thought, certainly an autoimmune component we knew about. But even that is rising, and we're seeing even in adults now, and that's worldwide. So that tells us something, and to me, that's concerning. That's probably an environmental factor, chemicals or things out there. It has nothing to do with diet. It's something else in our environment, something we've done to the world. But now let's go back to type 2 diabetes. That's completely in our control, and we've set the road the wrong way. Our diet is largely responsible for this, and that's scary because we're headed the wrong way. But it gives us incredible opportunity. So we should all be eating like a diabetic. We need to change the way we eat, change what we expect from suppliers of food, change how we shop at the grocery store. Some examples are, convenience, that's what's got us in trouble. So we've got it, that compromises our health. So we're gonna have to give up on some convenience. We have to have a hand in preparing our food whenever we can. Remember that, cook with family, it's important to hold each other accountable to that. When you're shopping, avoid processed foods or foods that are pre-made for you, and watch the fat-free ones. That's a trick. That's mostly full of sugar. That's a whole fad that they tricked us on that one too. So don't worry about that. Low-fat dairy is completely fine. Cheeses are okay. Just everything in moderation. And remember, lean hormone-free proteins are the way to go. Vegetables, fruit, really center your diet around that. Whole grains anytime you can. And remember, be active. The more active you are, the better. And embrace screening. There's more and more tests out there that we can really get a good idea for type 2 diabetes and genetic screening for type 1 diabetes. So embrace that. It can be done at least once a year at your physical or really anytime. It's a pretty simple test to do. Certain tests called the hemoglobin A1C or a 3-month sugar test gives you an idea of kind of where you've been hanging out for the last 3 months. Keeps you honest. Less sensitive test is a quick sugar that can be done in an office or sometimes at health fairs. But anytime you can do it, sit down with somebody, see what that actually means. And the new screenings for type 1 diabetes are interesting too. This is new to us. The suggestion now is for first-degree relatives to be screened. That's an interesting suggestion because most type 1 diabetics don't have that story. They don't have a type 1 degree relative. So we may see that change a little bit. Screening, if it can be feasible enough economically, you might see everybody getting done for that. It's a simple enough genetic test. But getting back to a healthier lifestyle, demand more of yourself and the people you eat with, eat like a diabetic, think about your food, be active, and start changing the ways of what we expect for nutrition in our country.